Hello, my dear students, my dear colleagues. Sunday is already gone, and today is Monday, 4th April 2026. Happy morning, beautiful morning. Good morning to all of you. Yes, spring is already there, almost passing on. Present is going on. Future is already there to join us, and the history is already gone. The past is gone. Yesterday was past. Last month, last week is a past. Last year is a past, and then last century is a past. Last decade is a past. Everything which is gone into the history is past. Present moment is a gift. It's a beautiful gift there at our disposal. Even you see the point in time, moment in time, going on moment that Colonel Tosif is talking to his students is the present and beautiful present. And what a beautiful topic today I am going to share with you to revise, to let your information, grammatical, construction of sentences of direct and indirect, how to convert direct speech into indirect speech, how to convert reporting speech into keeping in mind the reporting speech. What is reporting speech? And what is reported speech? I was talking about past. As I already mentioned in one of my recorded and uploaded videos, that history is a history. I mean, past is a history. Future is a mystery. And the present is a gift. We are gifted to revise our knowledge about direct and indirect because that's very, very important grammatical component of English grammar, without which it is just not possible that you improve your expression. For example, yesterday there was no video. It was Sunday. Now the last day, Sunday, it's of last week, of last month, of this year. Now you see, last means that the past is further divided into near past and the remote past. Because the time during which the action took place is divided into, again, I would give emphasis on this preamble for this component, grammatical component on English learning, that it's very important that you have to keep in your mind the time divisions, and without this bracket of time during which you have to convey, you have to communicate, you have to translate, you have to put across your meaning, your complete message to the listener, to the reader, whosoever happens to be. Either you are a military officer, you are army officer, you are an officer, you are a civilian officer, you are CSP officer, you are doctor prescribing something, writing your prescription or whatever is there. Engineer is to drawing certain or carrying out calculations there and drawing, and there is a small little, you see, architectural design that you have to write. Everywhere you have to be in contact with your expression, spoken and written. And that is why internationally English language is very, very important thing. For male and for female, it's just only even you are traveling to London, you are already going to, you are already booked, and you are already, you see, they are on the schedule, and you are likely to start your travel, and during the journey, so you start getting in contact with other people, that you are going to talk to them, you are going to, communicate. So everywhere that you have to be little concerned about the construction of sentences, keeping in mind the tenses, the scheme of tenses, and then a lot of other things that I have talked about. But today it is reporting speech and reported speech, which is also known direct and indirect. Or with examples, for example, the direct speech repeats exact words using quotation marks. The inverted commas are there, and within those inverted commas, you in fact reproduce, you rewrite, you in fact give that quoted portion of some spoken. For example, in my previous video, or in the previous video, you see the reporting speech starts. Colonel Tosif said, comma, and now the reported speech, inverted commas begin. We all must prepare ourselves to be on one grade so that we are the best as far as English communication skills are concerned. Inverted commas closed and full stop. Now the exact words spoken by me within the inverted commas, if you write, is in fact in English grammar or the grammatical structure, it is known as the direct speech. Direct speech means directly spoken, originally spoken, genuinely and literally, whatever is the content or the spoken words uttered by me are to be reproduced within the inverted commas. That is the direct speech. And how to convert into indirect form is connected with the reporting verb. Direct speech I talked about within inverted commas, and to remove inverted commas using connective, keeping in mind what is the tense and what is the construction of the reporting speech, because the reporting speech is very, very important. Why? While indirect, I mean reported speech, paraphrases them without quotes, usually shifting tenses back to reflect the past. The key changes are very important to be followed, to be adhered to. The key changes include verb tense, pronouns, and time and space, time and place as well. And there are certain words that you have to change them into the past form. Why? Because Colonel Tosif said, perfectly all right. Such as now into then, this into that, certain changes of certain words, this into that, because the reporting verb is in the past and the reported speech, removing those inverted commas and using connective. So Colonel Tosif said, then Colonel Tosif instructed, Colonel Tosif taught, Colonel Tosif gave emphasis on some important points. Colonel Tosif told that, now that is in fact, it is, you see, the subject, then is the form of verb, and after the form of verb, is the tense. Tense is past indefinite. Colonel Tosif said, and then is the actual speech that I quoted. It is again keeping in mind the tense, the time during which the action took place, and that was speaking and telling of Colonel Tosif, saying of Colonel Tosif. Now you see, very, very important. For example, let's pick just one example from the recently concluded visit by the king, honorable, and his majesty, the king concluded his visit to United States of America. Now you see, it's very, very important that the role of Britain's monarchy in reaffirming the transatlantic bond. Now, within inverted commas, I repeat, the role of Britain's monarchy in reaffirming the transatlantic bond, inverted commas, said by whom? The Trump said. The Trump said is, in fact, the reporting speech. And what did he say? What has he said? Actual words. The actual words are to be given in the reported speech, and that is, reported speech will be within inverted commas. The role of Britain's monarchy in reaffirming the transatlantic bond. That's very, very beautiful way of getting the message. What an excellent way. I personally feel that you have to have certain changes there while converting. Who said? King said, the Trump said. And this is how, what in response, His Majesty responded to the comments, to the honorable words, to the expected and very, very important statement by the President of America that is there. And now the quoted speech, actual speech is there, and you have to reproduce, you have to convert it into a statement, plain statement. Punctuation marks will be removed, and there are certain other things, so it would be in a beautiful and a smooth flow. There would be the indirect speech. So you change direct speech into indirect speech. There are certain important rules in English grammar that what you have to abide by, and it's very, very important. And believe you me, dear audience, wherever you are, whatever is the type of exams, test, written test that you are taking, you are supposed to be in knowledge of this direct and indirect speech. Come on. Direct speech, I have already talked about. Now to change it into indirect forms, you are supposed to keep certain important things in mind. Keeping, for example, she says, comma, inverted commas begin. I am hungry, inverted commas close. She says in the reporting speech. Within inverted commas, in the reported speech, I am hungry. Now you see, who says what? It is a girl who happens to be she, and the she happens to be pronoun in the reporting verb, and she is also singular third person. And that is why we have used. That is why S has been added up to the first form of verb, because this is present indefinite tense. And that is why in the reporting speech, she says, assuming, she says to me, she says to him, she says to her, she says to you. And this is in fact the complete reporting verb, because you are supposed to have subject, verb, and then is the object using maybe the prepositions there. So she says is present indefinite tense. Remember, first rule, present indefinite and the future indefinite, these are the two times, two actions in during action in two time types. For example, the action in the present or the action takes place in future, that is the coming time. If the reporting speech is in present form, in present tense, it is happening in the present time, then to convert into the reported speech to be converted into the indirect form with the use of connective in between reporting speech and reported speech, you do not do certain important changes. You stick to only just one connective that you use, and you remove all those inverted commas, and there are certain words. For example, this will remain as this. This will not be changed into that. These will not be changed into those. Today will not be changed into that day. Now will not be changed into then. Yesterday will not be changed into the day before yesterday. How? Because the reporting verb's tense is in present. Or maybe the tense is in future. Again, there will not be any changes there in the reported indirect speech. So, direct speech, she says, I am hungry. Indirect speech, she says that she is hungry. Very simple. Had there been, she said, within inverted commas, I am hungry. Now the actual speech spoken and uttered by her, by that girl, who happens to be she, she said, inverted commas, actual speech is, I am hungry. But since the reporting speech is in the past, so there will be certain changes of tense in the reported speech as well, in the indirect speech as well, in the converted and changed paraphrase. The changes will be, must be changed as per the rule, as per the given data. So what would be the change? Had there been, she said, I am hungry. So the indirect speech of she said that she was hungry. There is yet another example I would like to give. I would like to give quickly here. I have finished my work, he said. Now the reporting verb is there at the end of the sentence. First is the reported speech. First is the direct speech. First is the actual speech which was spoken by him, and the him happens to be he. And who is he? He is he. singular third person. All. One name of a man, one name of a woman, one name of a non-living thing, or a he, she, it. These are the singular third persons we use as we know the table. Then the first person singular I is also there. There are two first persons, I, we. I, my, me. We, our, us. And second person, just only one, you. You, your, you. How many pronouns or the persons? The third persons known, he, his, him, she, her, her, it, its, it, Tosif, his, him, Fatima, her, her, Sophia, her, her, Fozia, her, her, you, your, you, they, their, them. So this is how that you have to do a certain changes. So going back to that example, direct, I have finished my homework, comma, now the inverted commas start. I have finished my homework, inverted commas closed. Inverted commas begin. Reported speech, the actual speech, the reported verb, that is there within inverted commas, and the inverted commas begin. I have finished my homework, inverted commas closed. Now within these two inverted commas, there is a direct and quoted sentence, quoted paraphrase, that is the quoted dependent clause, and this is direct and indirect. The indirect speech before this is he said to me. Now he said to me, first the only change there in the reporting verb would be of said to. Since this is the past indefinite tense in the reporting verb, said means the second form of verb that has been used. So he said to whom? He said to me. Reporting verb. And the tense is he said to whom? He said to me, but the time is there in the past. So must and compulsory, it becomes imperative, it becomes incumbent upon all of us to adhere to certain important grammatical rules for the indirect speech and direct speech. It is direct and converted into indirect, we'll first use he had finished his homework. Full stop. He told me that he had finished his homework. Full stop. This is very, very simple. And gentlemen, I am going to give you important, for example, the present simple, the tense changes. The present simple into past simple. I work. He said he worked. Present continuous, past continuous. Present continuous into past continuous. I am working will be changed into I was working. He said he was working. Present perfect into past perfect. I have worked. I had worked. The past simple into past perfect. I worked, he said he had worked, and then, of course, the changes of modals, the changes of auxiliary verbs, the changes of helping words, the present into past. For example, very important, because unconsciously, while talking, while speaking, while giving interview, while listening to a very pertinent question from the interview panel, if you are in the Viva Voce, if you are just appearing there and you are talking, you are giving answers to the panel, so you are supposed to be very attentive to the questions. Once the questions are shot by the panel to you, you have to understand that what is the time bracket during which what happened is being asked by the panel. And I have to be exactly, my sentence or my answer or my words, my construction, my spoken structure of the sentence, of the answer, that must be in the same very time, if it happens to be past indefinite, if it happens to be near past, if it happens to be completion there in the past tense, maybe past perfect, or something that is likely to happen there in future, that is there in the question. That what do you think? For example, the question from the interview panel, what do you think that what is likely to be there in the region of Middle East, or on the international scenario, what is going to be? How Pakistani flag will be on the top? How the Field Marshal, a journal, 5-star journal, Sayyid Asim Munir will be talk of the town, as is. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We are so indebted to Almighty Allah that we have encashed, we have earned, we have been given an international recognition by almost the sole superpower, United States of America. And the whole world has come to know that yes, the best wisdom, the best negotiating wisdom, the best strategic depth, the best, international acumen, with the best geographical and professional thoroughness of and the command over the current affairs and the international affairs, and then how to strategize your anticipated opinion about something which is likely to be that you come out and you place there in front of the negotiating parties. This is the crux. This is the gist. This is the personality acumen. This is the identity of Pakistani leadership. And you know that the leadership of Pakistan, especially the military bureaucracy and the civil bureaucracy, both right on the top, they get themselves trained through their professional journey, an enhancement of professionalism, careerism, the courses, the studies, interaction, and then of course by burning midnight oil in preparation, in preparing themselves to be a competent, ever ready, and then of course re-energizing their inbuilt capabilities and proficiencies. How to come out with some solution to the negotiating parties. Pros and cons. And this is what is a rare and very uncommon, rare and uncommon privilege of Pakistani leadership, that they always prove their worth, whether it was to bring America or the United States of America's leadership closer to Chinese leadership back in the past, or it is today what is going on. It is in fact the, now you see, in all the sentences that I have spoken, it is said, traveled, earned, and Pakistani leadership, and a lot of sentences spoken by Colonel Toshif, but actual quoted, reported speeches were not there. In form or in kind or in structuring reported speech, I spoke certain sentences. True that it was on the international happenings today, but somehow the construction, the sentences, the dependent clauses, independent clauses, then reporting speech, reported speech, then removing, because the actual quoted words that I could not quote in the inverted commas, it's in fact the statement, the indirect speech, the indirect sentence that I have spoken. You might have noticed, you might have learned. Very, very important. There are certain changes that you have to. Coming back to that changes of auxiliary verbs and helping verbs or modals that we have to do. For example, we have to convert can into could, will into would, shall into should, may into might. And then of course there are certain other changes as well. Must into must. And then very, very important, that is into was, has into had. And then of course very, very important that we have to be concerned about all these changes, because present into past, so has into had, have into had, may into might, will into would, can into could, shall into should, must into must, ought into ought. So these are the things that you have to, these are certain important changes that in the reported speech you have to bring in. Very, very important that you have to take into considerations, and you have to adhere to your rule. Then there are certain words, time and place changes, or time, duration. That is, you see, since the reporting verb is in the past, and you have to bring in changes there in the past. Here into there, now into then, today into that day, tomorrow into the next day or the following day, yesterday into the day before, the yesterday, the day before the previous day, or the day before that day, or this into that, these into those. And then of course, very, very important that the time is changed into present into past. Then reporting verbs, if there is say, then you have to convert saying into telling, say into tell, said into told, in the reporting verb that you have to bring in change. Because say used without an indirect object, he said that. Now you have to use he told me that. There are certain exceptions also in the direct and indirect speech. For example, universal truths or habits. Tenses do not change if the statement is still true or a habit is there used in the construction of a sentence. The sun rises in the east, he said. The indirect, or to change it into indirect or the reported speech, you have to said. He said that the sun rises in the east. Very simple. Present reporting verb. If the reporting verb is present tense, means it says, the tense does not change because he said, I am fine. He told that he was fine. It is very, very important that you have to keep in your consideration all these important rules. Now, it's a time for me to remind all of you, while extending my bundle of thanks to all of you. You have been very kind enough to send your likes, your comments as well, and it's heartening. It is gladdening on my part. It's a really encouraging gesture on your part to boost my morale. You boost my morale, to motivate me, to strengthen me, to give me a push that go on. Colonel Toshif, you as a teacher can still continue teaching us and brave you me. I always make part and parcel of my piece of advice to my students that as per my belief, after giving important and compulsory answers to the angel of death, I will also introduce myself that I am a teacher. So I will continue to teach whatever would be there. So I am a teacher, though I am retired, having been at important places of training, grooming, and mentoring of leadership at Pakistan Military Academy, Pakul, the Command and Staff College, Quetta. You see, I am so, you see, that was there, the Command and Staff College, Quetta. The General Kayani is there, shaking hand with me, and this is the important man. As colleague, we were together there at Command and Staff College, Quetta. Yes, dear students, it's a great journal. General Saeed got retired as Chief of General Staff, and nowadays is chairman. Very important appointment he is holding. General Saeed, the chairman of WAPDA. And here again, you see General Musharraf shaking hand with me, and with me is again on the other side is General Saeed, and here is my another journal, and then of course over here the Pakistan Military Academy, Kakul, General Ahsan Azhar Salim Hayat. General Ahsan is there, and here I was in 80 Brigade, part of 80 Brigade. I was there as education officer, and then the foreigners were there, and then important, very, very important, I must say that this is the ideal time that I had there in Saudi Arabia. Beautiful time. The way I traveled a lot and putting on my captaincy finally, second lieutenant, then the lieutenant, and then of course the captaincy. When I put on captaincy, I went straight to Pakistan Military Academy, Kakul. Dear gentlemen, you are going to be an army officer, you are going to be air force officer, you are going to be naval officer, you are going to be captain, you are going to be major, you are going to be lieutenant colonel, brigadiers, and honorable, very important cross swords rank, very important rank. I am proud of, Pakistan Army is proud of. That is, you see, the 2-star general, the general officer commanding, and then very important is the command of a corps, the corps commanders. These very important. The sword, cross sword with a pip happens to be major general, but you see the cross sword and crescent, the crescent star, the crescent there on the shoulders, and then of course this three-star general as the corps commander. I wish you all to command all the, you see, hierarchical, professional honors that you have, decoration that you have on your identities, on your uniform. God bless you. A teacher can pray for your, prayerfully a teacher can pray your professional prosperity, but again coming back, it is the expression, English expression. It is the confident expression. It is your way of interacting with other people. It's the CSP officers who are supposed to be very impressive while dealing with the public. They are in different, they are dealing with the colleagues, with the seniors, so many other people. So God bless you. I will continue giving examples, and then of course I will continue teaching so many other grammatical components on my, but today's this video is on direct and indirect speech. I hope you will subscribe, you will give your comments. Bundle of thanks, bundle of thanks. God bless you. God bless you.